Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Prison Architect, and we're in the midst of a shakedown, which should complete here pretty soon. And then we'll have intake in about a little under 3 hours. And as things are going, we have 8 of the 10 superior beds produced, so we're getting along that grant. And I may hire one more guard, although maybe not. Probably be okay with what we've got. Only a few more things to get before search is completed. Ooh, tasers bringing down the money. Alright, so we haven't had many problems in the morning anymore. So I guess they're now on to their schedule and a little bit more used to it. There goes the shakedown, so we'll have guards available to do the various things around the prison. And here come our new prisoners. Alright, so we got one guy over here who's a special character. Alright, nothing really screams out that I need to do anything with him. No gang members, which is good. Okay, nothing that needs to be max sect there, and then nothing there. Okay, so these guys all seem like they have relatively sedate prison sentences. And I do want to check on the actual intelligence here, not this, of the gangs. So they haven't claimed anything, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that and make sure I stay on top of that and make sure they don't get yards and other things. Now, I don't know if it's possible to bust membership of gangs. Because right now we have a lot of membership for the Green Gang here that I would like to drop, but at the moment, not a whole lot we can do about it. You know, I am having issues with guards and deployment. So I guess I will hire one. I don't know if that will really alleviate the issue, but they could just be tired. A lot of them, possibly because of the shakedown overnight. But right now, we have everybody doing something for the most part. And there's only really one structure left for me to do, and that is over here. And once I have the money for that, which out of curiosity, how much money would that cost me? I don't know if I checked that. Okay. A little over 7,000. And then once I get that 7,000, I can do the structure, but then we'll be able to wall off some of the stuff. So we'll see a lot less contraband in the prison, hopefully. Oh, got some violence in the common room. Out of curiosity. Yeah. This is really not good. They're able to take over these areas far too easily because you see, look here. We've got a huge number of gang members here. I'm going to have to evict them here again. Alright, I think I hit the selection to evict. There we go. Maybe I selected it and then deselected it. Alright, I don't believe we had anyone die. I can confirm that. No, nobody died. Alright, so this is definitely going to be a problem. Maybe I need another common room? One way I could have prevented that is barring them from there, but... Alright, now let's take a look at the gang stuff now. So we're going to be kicking them out of here. See, they all go to the same yard, so it's easy, I think, for them to take things over. Not a big fan of that, for sure. You know, I'm kind of curious. Is it possible that we can get somebody out of the prison? So let's say this guy here, right? He's a big problem. What can we do about that? Doesn't look like I can do anything. I was just wondering if there was a possibility of transferring a prisoner out of a prison, but apparently not. Okay, well, I'm definitely, I think, going to have to set up a super max wing and start locking away the gang members. That'd probably be a good way of getting rid of their issues that we have with them. But unfortunately, I don't feel that I can really maybe get away with that. Okay. Again, keeping an eye on this. Alright, well, we've got good cash flow. Looks like the guards are doing better here. And we did have at least one release. I might as well get one intake. Go along with that. Ooh, more violence. And that is probably the gang members trying to fight to keep their turf. How many guards do we have deployed? Just two? Two might be enough. I could up it, but so far I think the guards have jumped on the violence pretty well. And we're getting there on kick them out. But I wonder, because they took it over, maybe that's a good sign that I need to increase... Oh, we got some violence I got to take a look at. Increase the guard count, because we're keeping them out of here. Here's the violence. Do we have a death? Not that I can tell, but sometimes it's hard to tell on all this mess. Doesn't look like anybody died. And it looks like this was gang violence. For sure. Alright. But the question I have is they haven't taken over any of these areas. Good. Oh, another thing I need to do is I need to get some metal detectors. I almost wonder if a guard stationed in one of these areas would prevent some contraband getting in and out. Not sure. But, one thing I definitely want is metal detectors, so put one there. I worry about utilities once they're put in place. I also need some for these cell... Oh, you know what? That's not gonna happen. Okay, we're not going to get the money back, so... Maybe I should have waited on that. That was actually silly. I think, because, you know, we're getting close to getting enough money for this. But I do realize that, you know, contraband is really an issue. As a matter of fact, I can see the dangers here. They can get clubs from here, and I have been seeing that. And they can get stuff from this kitchen, which we're going to need to remedy. We already have metal detectors over here, so that's not a big deal. We have something there. We're good on this kitchen. So mostly it's the kitchen. We have more violence going on. Mostly it's the kitchen and the other cell block we need to... Geez, where's the next violence? Kind of hard to keep track of it. We've got so much fighting going on. Okay, well, we can take one more intake. All right, and we didn't have to do anything about hooking up utilities. That worked nicely. Okay, so... Again, I kind of feel the need to have these metal detectors up and running, though. Because we have a cell block that's entirely uncovered right now. That's going to cost me $4,000 to finish off, though, so... I don't know. Again, maybe I should just wait and be patient. And I probably need to ramp up the instances of shakedowns as well. Alright, so still working on that. Got a lot of information on some of these guys. Oh, picking up a knife here, huh? See, that's why I want to wall this stuff off. We've got pickup of a hammer. Pickup of drugs, probably. Alright. More prisoners. Alright, what do you guys like? I've got assault. False imprisonment. Alright, so nothing really too scary. None of them are in a gang. I'm hoping maybe we will get some of these gang members phased out just by their terms coming up, but hard to say. And we got the new prisoners, but it looks like we gotta have intake of 3 more here. A lot of danger. Where are we on the regime? 'Cause I want to see why that danger is going on. Alright, we haven't hit shower time yet. And hygiene is high. Recreation is a problem, so... Apparently, I need to do something about that. These guys look like they're ready to fight. So we must have some issues here as they're fighting to keep their ground. Alright, so the common room is probably not big enough, is what I'm going to guess. And we need to do something about that. Another thing I could do is I could start putting radios in everybody's cell. Now, that would be incredibly expensive, I'd imagine, but... Let's see what it has for me if I go to objects and I go into a cell block here. Alright, so we've got office desk. Yeah, radio is one of the things it highlights. The radios are $100. And if we put that in everybody's cell, I mean, we'd be looking at 17 grand there. But it might be a way to get people recreation. And also a bookshelf might be nice. Alright, well, how much does a bookshelf cost? 30? We could put it there. And that gives them the ability to read and what have you in their cell, which might be that whole literacy thing. Let's see. Recreation's the main need, and I think that's why we're having a fair amount of danger. I could make this a new common room. Maybe a part of it be canteen, part of it be common room. That might actually be a good idea. Because I don't think we need quite this capacity. So, you know what? I'm going to plan for that. I'll let time go by, but we'll let it go somewhat slowly. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna keep an eye on what's going on over here. All right. That was fun. Okay. So, if we're over here, and we want some pool tables, right? So, pool table. And that looks like it is 3 by 2. And then we want a bunch of TVs. So, what I'm thinking here is we'll make the canteen a lot smaller, but we'll get rid of all this. So, pretty much this will be the dividing line. And I'll even put a wall in here. This will be the dividing line between the two. Now, I don't think they're really going to be a physical wall, but I mean, I could put a physical wall, but that does limit how much space I have. But it's just to consider that this is the last bit of the canteen. So if that's the case, then all of this is going to be common room. So let's see what I can fit in with that being the case. So we know that a pool table is that size. Yeah. So how many of those can we fit in this space? Well, I could also put them like this. Well, technically, if this is not going to be really a wall, I could put them right... No. I think I want a little bit of room. So, do that. We do that. And then... Yeah, see, we kind of have dead space here regardless of what I do. So I'm trying to see what was the better way of doing this. Okay. I'll do it like that, maybe, and then we'll do this, and then we'll use the rest of the area for, like, TVs and what have you. So, let's say this is all TVs. And I'm not going to worry about phones. And then we've got chairs here. And then we do another row of TVs like that. And then we do chairs here. Be like that. Yeah, okay, I like that. I think that's going to be the new plan. So again, whether or not I put a wall, an actual physical wall there is, you know, up in the air. But I could, for instance, make a door here. And then you separate out the canteen from the common room. Yeah, I guess that will work. But I'm going to have to keep an eye on the recreation in the meantime. And maybe this will lessen the control of the gangs over this common room because it will spread out the population in the prison. All right, so right now I have intake of 3. We'll bring that up to 4. All right, so danger's still high. Even though we went past... Oh, no, we're not quite in the shower period. That will take care of a lot of it. Oh, boy. Now we have violence over here. And that's because the gang now has control. So we're going to evict them. Not sure if we're evicting them or not. There we go. We're going to have that level of violence. So this is just a mess regardless of how I look at it. Now, we have lost gang membership with the Green Gang, but I'm just going to have to keep on top of them and stop them. Oh, a real tunnel. All right, we're going to have to punish this guy. Punish solitary for 12 hours. Go. Okay, tunnel. Move. How much money you just cost me. You know what, screw that. You're getting... Oh, I already gave him the 12 hours. Yeah, get into solitary, you ass. Oh, did we not have a solitary cell to put him in? I guess we're full up because of all the gang violence. Oh, no, there's some vacancies. Come on. You just put him under lock and key in his room. Oh, there they go. Yeah, there you go, jerk. Well, I have yet to have an escape, so much better than the last prison. Oh, and the reoffending rate has gone down. I don't know if this has changed much, the other stuff, but it's good to see. Alright, so I still need 7,000. I could take loans, but that didn't seem to work all that well. You know, I guess I could lock down some of these areas preemptively. Just start building for it. I need to lock down this area. Just put down a fence right here. That shouldn't cost me too much money. It gets my workforce doing something. And then we'll put fence here, maybe. And a fence there. And that will close down the lower portion. And then we have fence in here. And a fence in there. And a fence in there. And a fence in there. Alright. So really all that's left after all this is just these two areas. And that shouldn't have cost me too much money. Intake is still looking like it's at 4. Speed time up. See if we can get that kind of money in here. Matter of fact, with 4 intake, we'll get a couple thousand, so. And honestly, all we need is one of these grants to finish. Oop, I meant grant. There we go. So we still need 2 more beds. And we still haven't had anybody pass that course. But we should have actually people attending it. So go to programs here. It might not show because, yeah, we've got 3 students in that program. So that's good. And how are the needs? Okay, recreation is still a problem. But we'll get a whole control over it eventually, maybe. Looks like after that, recreation, the next big concern is drugs. So, okay. That gives me an indicator that maybe gang stuff is still going on. You know what? No, actually it isn't, so. Okay. Did we have anyone die? Not that I can tell. Although we do have quite a few releases. I was just double checking nobody died. So we can get up to 6 prisoners. Which means I'll get 3,000 in the morning. And again, I need metal detectors here, but I'm going to let it go for now. Because I don't think I can afford it right now. And again, the kitchen is a key area. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to dismantle this. And I'm just going to put a single door in here. That will close things down, in my opinion. So, put that there. And then we'll do just a normal door here. That way, prisoners can come in and out. Not have to worry about the staff door. Although it seems like the staff door doesn't really stop them all that much. I had a free door, so might as well use it. All right. Now, there's still a lot of things that need done in this prison before it's technically finished. At least this part. First off, there's a lot of flooring missing. I know that's mostly aesthetic, but neither of these two cell blocks are finished off. I need windows over here, windows over here, and then, of course, we need this finished, which is going to take a while. Well, hopefully we'll have it done the next day anyway. All right, how many hours we got? A little over 5. Didn't manage to build any more beds, which is unfortunate. I expect this is going to take a while, even when we have people interested in it and actually attending it. Because they have to pass the program, which is... nobody's passed yet. But hopefully they'll bring my reform stat up. And one thing I haven't checked in a while is the value of the prison. So it looks like we've got 550 grand value. Oh, we got some tunnels. Now these are possible tunnels. All right, a little bit of guard action going on. All right, let's see how the gang stuff has been going. All right, so we're about to close this out. But I assume the next time we have yard time, we're going to have to deal with that. A bunch of gang members showing up and trying to make sure that it doesn't fall. And we've got a few minutes. And then there's the money we're looking for. So, intake. I can turn off for now. And let me go ahead and build this foundation while I have the money. Go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the one jail door to be there. And then the other one, I'm going to go here. Okay. We already have everything else planned out, so shouldn't be too hard to set up. Now again, this wall may or may not be necessary. I might put it in because I don't really see an issue with it, one way or the other. On one side, I could put 2 guards in there and they'd cover both sides together. Alternatively, I could put 1 guard here, 1 guard here. Oh, and this can be locked open. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do the wall because I think that whole idea where I could deploy a couple guards and they'd cover both sections makes sense. I'm just going to go ahead and just draw out the room now so that I know what the canteen confines are going to be. As soon as I figure out where the canteen is on this thing. Boo-doo-doo. All right, there it is. There's the canteen. And then we'll make the other thing a common room when I get around to it. Alright, so we still have a bunch of cash left over, so I guess I'll go ahead and put down the serving tables and then normal tables. And I finally get to use the extra benches that I've been sitting on for ever. And benches. Okay. See how that money flow is now. Okay, that's not too bad. So now we need pool tables. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we need TVs. This is going to be what costs me the most money here. think that's the right way around. I may not be able to finish this with how much money I have, but we'll try. Okay, not quite. Just a start. Then we'll get chairs in there. I probably already have some, so might as well take what we got free. I only have one more left, so we'll stick that right there. Okay. Hopefully that will take care of the recreational needs. And I guess might as well set up the common room as soon as I, again, find it on here. There should only be one, so... Alright, canteen. There it is, finally found it. I'd say that's the one thing about the game is that it seems like there's no real rhyme or reason on the placement of a lot of these rooms. They just are where they are. I do need utilities, of course. And I guess we'll just grab it. Bring it on down. Oh, I don't have any money. Alright, well, it'll be a little while before we get power in here, I guess. But at least it's a start. When we already have people using these facilities, which I'm glad to see. I'm going to need metal detectors, of course, but I'm almost thinking, would it be more efficient use of my money rather than do it like it is, just have like a couple metal detectors here, because all the people going through here have to come through here. So this is a waste of money. Big time. Yeah. Okay, so we'll start taking some of these down. Let's start with over here. Dismantle. Dismantle. And I'll go ahead and dismantle these two as well. And then I may be able to do this a little bit more intelligently. So I just have two metal detectors here. One here, one here. And then I do the same thing over here. One here, one here. They have to come through here, especially after I fence this area off. They don't have a choice. So, yeah, we can use the bottlenecks to my advantage, I guess. It means that, in theory, it takes a little bit longer to get them caught with stuff, but... Okay, so we can do the power now. Grab the electrical and just do that. That probably should suffice. And we also need some more televisions, which I don't have the money for, so we're just going to have to be patient. And intake can go up to 4, it looks like. I think it's a good point to put a cut in the video, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.